Hello, viewers. This is the second part or the second episode of our discussion on the merits of estate demand in the state of Manipur and the Manipur violence. So, in our first discussion that we had last week, we tried to cover a lot of issues. However, the issues could not be all covered because of the paucity of time. But we promised that we will do this discussion again with Mr. Kahuto Jishi, and he has joined me again for this discussion. Thank you, Mr. Kahuto Jishi.
Thank you for having me.
And by this, I want to make it very clear that this is, of course, not an interview, but we are trying to discuss the issue together and share our points of views. So thanks for coming back and watching this discussion again. I hope we have a fruitful discussion. Now, from the first discussion that we did, there were lots of comments and there were lots of views expressed by our viewers saying that the Hindus and the Tripuris and the Ahoms, they're all Hindus, still they get ST. So, but in our point of discussion about the Manipur, we were thinking on the line that they're Meiteis and they're Hindus, that's why they should not get tribal status. How do you want to justify that? Hi, let me take here a few seconds of yours to introduce Islandlo, ILANDLO. This is an e-commerce website based in the Northeast, and they sell all sorts of exotic products like foods, like handicrafts, earthenwares, ethnic wares, and books that comes from the Northeastern states. So you have seen their products and they're all amazing, and they are appropriate and the best choice for gifts and presentations to friends or for any event. And they ship all over India, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Surat to Kohima. They ship all over India. So whenever you want to shop any products from the Northeast, do not take the trouble of asking your friends to ship it for you, but just log into this website and browse any product that you want and place an order. It will reach you within 1 week everywhere across the country. So thank you so much. Let's continue to talk.
See, I believe that whatever we discussed was perfectly logical and in keeping with the current legal view. Because I don't believe we were trying to discuss who started the violence or who did what.
Yes.
No? We were just solely focused on the scheduled tribes.
Yes.
Now, who are tribals? Who deserve that? And then one thing I gathered was the assumption. Like many viewers, they assume that since both of us are Nagas, we're STs, we're Christians, that we're supporting the cookies. No?
Okay.
But I want to make it very clear to the viewers. Mr. Lungleng is very well known. Everybody knows that he doesn't take sides on any issue. As for me, I have supported the present DGP of Nagaland, who is a Hindu, non-Naga, against a fellow Naga, a Christian. So I believe that speaks for itself. No?
Interesting.
So as far as our intentions, I believe, we're here to try to get to the root of the problem.
Exactly.
Because we can talk about the violence, we can say who started what and who did what.
Yeah.
But until we go to the root, it will never end.
Absolutely.
Because people take advantage of issues. Whether the issue is genuine or fake, people will take advantage. So we have to go to the issue. What is the issue? And in this case, it is the demand for
ST.
Tribal status by the Meiteis.
Yeah.
Now, the comments both of us have read, they're talking about poppy plantation drug, no? Then about land. So let's discuss that.
Yeah. So no, you have mentioned about religion as well. And many people are making this as Christian versus the Hindus, the Meitei Hindus and the tribal Christians.
Yes.
That is not true at all.
No.
Even that's not the root cause of issue. The root cause is ethnic. It's more on ethnic basis, based on ethnicity rather than religion. So I think people who have the view or who hold the view that it's tribal Christian versus the Meitei Hindus, it's nonsense.
Yes.
That's what I think.
I agree. No.
Yeah.
See, this is exactly what I mean. People will try to take advantage of issues.
Yeah.
So they will raise all this, no?
Right.
So they're trying to raise the Hindu card. I'll say it's the Hindu card. Okay. Some people, I'm not accusing all the people, mighty people, no?
Yeah.
But there are some who are trying to raise the Hindu thing to gain sympathy from the extremist Hindus.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are some among the cookies who are trying to raise Christian sentiment. No?
Yeah.
So both sides, no, they are not all of them, but some are trying to play the religious card. No?
Yeah, that's true.
So-
That's true. And now the main root cause that we are trying to understand and what people mention is the land problem in
Yes,
Manipur.
yes.
Because the more the tribal autonomy is given to the tribal, and if they are not, Maites are not reserved under the tribal status, then there is a possibility that I think there is an accusation that many tribals population will increase because of the migration of from Myanmar and Bangladesh, and they come here as a tribal. And the population will go uncontrolled, and that becomes a threat, existential threat for the Maites. That's the accusation the Maite brothers have.
Yes.
But it's a very, very serious issue, and I want to be also very careful on this. So, land, of course, is a problem. See, I think most of the accusations made against the Maite brothers is that unless they get tribal status, they will not be able to acquire land anywhere in Manipur because it's not allowed by a constitution. So that's my view.
Okay, so there are two parts to that.
Yeah.
One is the illegal migration,
Right.
and one is the land which the Maites occupy,
Yeah.
which they have occupied for centuries, and which the tribals occupy, the hills. Now you have to understand human civilization. No, all civilizations start in river deltas and valleys because it's fertile, and they support bigger populations.
That's true.
You see, India and China, we have the highest populations in the world. It's because of the Yangtze and the Ganga. It is fertile. You look at Russia, no? Such a big country, but it doesn't even have a fraction of the population of either India or thing. So this is the case in the past.
Yeah.
Okay, like people are dependent on food.
Yes. Yes.
So fertility determines the population. And the hills, I don't know, even the Nagas or Kukis or whoever living in the hills now, they don't understand how difficult it was to live in the hills. And we have the tendency to settle on top of the hill, no, mountain.
Yeah.
So again, even water also. Forget the fertility. So now it is because of historical and economic factors that the population in the valley has increased, whereas in the hills it has remained nearly stagnant.
Yeah. True.
Okay, now, see, I'm not touching the illegal immigration issue,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I'm just saying that you cannot say now that we have so little land and so much population, and you have so much land and so little population.
Right.
Because it is only recently that human beings have been able to, the population has increased because of artificial fertilizers. No. Because the earth, in a natural state, cannot sustain this population. Okay, so we have to understand that. No? Now that we can buy rice from shops and all, we can settle anywhere in the world.
Of course.
No.
Of course.
But in the earlier days, so in a way, the tribals have the right to the land because they have lived through it, through the hard times, through the centuries.
Okay.
So that is not a valid argument, saying that we have got only a small population, small land and huge population. Because that is the way human civilization as a thing developed. Some people have a lot of land, no population. Some people have little land, a lot of population.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think in the state of Manipur, tribals occupy 90% of the land.
But 90% is not infertile.
Having just 38% of population. And comparing to looking at the fertility, of course, the valley part is more fertile than the tribal areas. And it's more convenient to do massive farming.
Yes.
And that can support bigger number of populations, for food consumption as well. Now that the idea of food consumption where you till the soil and you consume foods for self-sustenance, the idea is gone. Like wherever you live, you can buy food and sustain yourself. But still, don't you think, Mark, this idea of market plays still very important role because it's a place for industry and commerce.
Yes, yes.
A marketplace. Like Infal City, when you look at
Yes,
it.
yes.
The hills, there's no market. So the hills will definitely come down to Infal City. So that can still play that role.
Yes. A classic example is Japan. Japan too, they've got no farmland compared to the population.
Yeah.
No? The government pays massive subsidies to the farmers to keep farming.
Okay.
This Lee Iacocca, he was the vice president at Ford.
Okay.
Then he was kicked out, and then he took over Chrysler. He wrote a book on that. How much the Japanese government supports their farmers, just to keep them farming.
Okay.
But see, they're so prosperous because, as you said, industrialization, marketplace, commerce.
True. I think now, getting back to the issue of this, the nature of this issue, we are aware that the situation is still volatile in Manipur, right?
Yes.
Because this issue was ignited by the issuance or the once the petition was filed in the Manipur High Court, the Chief Justice, the acting Chief Justice of Manipur, Muralidharan, he just recommended that ST be included in the, Meiteis be included in the ST list. That's how all this conflict and violence began. And after, I think yesterday you would see in the paper that decision has been now rolled back to wait for another 1 year.
Oh, no, I don't know about that, but I do know that the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court has reprimanded the senior government advocate.
Yes.
Saying that this is not within the authority of the High Court to issue such orders.
Exactly. Only after they rolled back.
Yes. So this is a problem in India. When there's wrongdoing, some action should be taken.
Exactly.
Nothing was taken. No?
Exactly.
So this is how it carries on.
It's a serious issue.
Yes.
That has
people
involved...
People have died. Lakhs, crores of things.
Exactly.
Value of crores of property has been destroyed.
But I'm not a legal expert, so I don't know whether there's a mechanism where this mistake can be taken action against that particular person.
See, you can, but again, I'll give you the example. Okay? In India, why it's so difficult? You can impeach a sitting judge of either the High Court or the Supreme Court, but Parliament has to do that.
Parliament needs to be. Okay.
I forgot the name of that Supreme Court Justice. But during Rajiv Gandhi's time, I believe, there was a movement to impeach him for his wrongdoing when he was the Chief Justice of the, I believe, Punjab and Haryana High Court. No?
Mumbai High Court.
I'm not sure. Anyway, he was the Chief Justice there.
Right. There was an effort.
But then when you need 2/3.
True.
But then all the South Indian MPs, they gang together and the 2/3 could not materialize. This is the problem with India. No? We never go into the issue. Okay, we never judge things by the issue, but by the people. No, see, right now, I know people are judging us. These two they are tribals, they are Christians. So that naturally they'll support the cookies. And then some are saying that Manipur, I'm not from Manipur. What do I know? No? Maybe I know more than them about Manipur.
It's not required to be from Manipur.
So whatever it is now, the thing is the leader. See, it is, I believe it was, who was the thing? US President during 1949.
Woodrow Wilson?
I forgot. But he had that famous slogan, the buck stops here, in his office.
Okay. I can't
So
recall.
it depends on the leader. Okay? The leader, say, a state chief minister cannot say he's helpless. The classic example is Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia after the Second World War, there was huge ethnic thing, okay? You had the Serbs, you had the Croats, you had the Muslims, and then some of them sided with Germany. But Field Marshal Tito, he said no repercussions, and then he was a firm leader. He sided neither with USSR or with the USA, and then his country was intact. After he died, it broke up.
Again.
So it depends on the leader. So Mr. Biren Singh, he bears responsibility. I'm not saying that he's involved, okay?
He's not involved, that's for
but
sure.
he has the authority. No?
Of course.
So he should not hesitate to use the authority in a proper way.
I think he has a moral, like we discussed before.
Yes,
He has a moral responsibility.
yes.
Just imagine Liz Truss. She was the BM, previous BM before this Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
So she resigned because she failed in some of her
Yes,
economic
yes,
policies.
yes.
But this is even more serious than failing in economic
Yes,
matters.
yes,
So honestly, I cannot imagine any other solution other than resignation from Biren Singh.
See, we follow the parliamentary form of democracy.
Yeah.
So now somebody, okay, from within the ruling
Exactly.
thing,
Exactly.
must fight for leadership. No, you just can't expect the center, no. But I'm not blaming the BJP, okay. This has started during the Congress time, the high command thing, no.
Right,
like they
right.
say, you be the CM, without looking at his grassroots support.
Exactly.
This is what the main reason why Congress has been decimated, no, is because of the high command system. They never look into who has the grassroots support, who has done what. Okay, just all the sycophants. They promote the sycophants, and unfortunately, BJP. I've said it before. 2017. Okay, I wrote that in India there are only two real political parties.
Okay.
The Communist parties and the BJP, because they have a fixed manifesto. They think reward the grassroots workers. But unfortunately, the BJP has given up that part. Now they're following exactly what the Congress has done before. No?
Yeah.
So,
I think exactly. So, before Manipur had her election in 2008 was 2022, right? The General Assembly election.
Yeah.
And as soon as the election was completed, I think there was a contention of the chief minister's seat, seat of chief minister between the current chief minister Biren Singh and Biswajit Singh. He is also another powerful guy, who has a lot of support from almost 50% of the BJP MLAs. So there was a squabble between him and Biswajit Singh. So both of them had to go to Delhi, and Delhi decided, Amit Shah and Modi and JP Nadda decided that Biren Singh would remain as the CM, which was fine. But now, on the onset of this issue, Manipur violence and humanitarian crisis, I think why don't they just hand over this baton of leadership to another new face, which Kukis and Nagas will not have any problem with, Now Biren Singh cannot just go on, ruling as the leader of the state, because he has some sort of stigma in his image already.
See, I don't know on what basis, the people at the center select the CMs at the states.
I think it's arbitrary, I feel.
So I don't know.
But the voice of the people should matter here, don't you think?
Yes, it should matter. But then the problem is the people are now polarized. Okay. Now you'll have all the mighty supporting
Biren Singh. He's a hero for them.
No, not all of them, but the vocal ones.
The frontliners.
The frontliners. So it'll seem as if we get the impression, we assume that all the mighties.
Right.
See, for me, I've been fortunate, in meeting people from various walks of life, from ethnicities, religion. That's why I don't assume things. I don't think that because he's a Hindu, he'll act in such a way. He's a Muslim.
Absolutely.
But that is not true for the majority of the people. Majority of the people, they just assume things. Okay.
Exactly.
And it is very unfortunate. Last month, I was giving a seminar at St. Joseph University.
Okay.
So I told them, your generation is a lazy generation. You don't even take the effort, to Google things.
Yes.
In my time, to search knowledge, it was
You have to refer books and books.
And then, where do you get the books?
Yeah.
See, Nagaland doesn't even have a decent library. But now, everything's at the fingertips.
Yeah.
See, now, during our recent thing, the comments, they were saying that the Ahoms, the Tripuris, they have got ST.
Yeah.
Tripura has ST thing, status. I shared the message from my friend Mr. Vijay Dev Varman, who's thing. His mother is from the Manipur royal family. His father is the cousin of the thing. Okay, now they don't have the Maharaj anymore, but they're brothers, no, cousins. So he said that Tripuris, no, we are a classless society. Classless society.
Yeah.
See, a classless society means every society has a leader. So you may have a king, you may have a chief, you may have a council, no? But a tribal society is an egalitarian society where everybody does everything. No, you don't have a fixed farming class or artisan class. No, so that is one of the criteria. You were saying primitiveness. No,
Yeah.
it falls under that.
Okay.
We don't have fixed roles. Okay, like everybody does his own farming. Everybody does his own weaving.
I think that's a trait of a
yeah,
tribal,
yeah.
right?
So that's why Tripuris were granted ST status.
Okay.
Now coming to the Ahoms are never granted ST status. They're OBC. The Rajbangshis also they mentioned. No? All those are OBCs. So where do these people get the information that they've been granted this status? They have this status. And coming back to the kingship, okay?
Okay.
The Ahoms too, they were defeated by the British. So the kingdom no longer mattered.
True.
Tripura too, I believe that it was the Maharani, no, who came to an agreement with the government of India after the British left. But Manipur was intact.
It was.
Yeah, both Tripura and Manipur, they joined India in 1949. But Manipur was under duress by force. The Maharaja of Manipur was kept at Shillong for 3 days, I believe. Okay, he was pressured to sign the instrument of accession. So it's completely different. Okay, Manipur has always been, no, the Meiteis have always been independent. They have ruled themselves. They have thing, no.
So you mean to say that they have all these classes?
Yeah, they
They're
have
not-
all the
they're not a
classes.
classless society.
Traditional Hindu classes, they have that, no.
Okay.
And then they're talking about this, their Sanamahism, no.
Yeah,
their,
Sanamahism.
So, see, if the government of Manipur, no, can recommend to the center that those followers, no, of the Sanamahism can be granted ST status. Then again, one of my young Meitei friends here came to visit me. He said, "What if all of us decide to follow Sanamahism? Then that is your freedom of religion."
Anything can
no?
happen.
Yeah.
Anything
So,
can happen in India.
But then the thing is religion, no?
Okay.
It's a very powerful factor. Okay, people will not just convert. No, maybe 3 or 4 of them, a handful may convert, but no, Hindus will remain Hindus. Okay.
I think we are trying to understand this. I don't think we are favoring cookies or Meiteis or whatever. We're trying to understand this issue very objectively. And just for the sake of discussions and dialogue,
Yes,
we're
yes.
trying to rationalize this problem. Now, moving forward, the solution to this problem could be either Biren Singh steps down and make way for other leader who is like blameless for now, or the cookies are demanding. The 10 MLA cookie MLAs have signed a memorandum demand for a separate administration from different from the Meitei community, or maybe altogether out of Manipur state. Like they don't want to be part of Manipur administration. So I think what would be the best solution for this problem? But the normalcy would not return as we all expect. I believe the normalcy will not return
It will
anymore
take time,
because
yes.
lives have been lost.
See, there's nothing which is irreparable. Okay. So the first step, no, whether the cookies are granted a separate administration or not, if India wants to be seen as a fair entity, if the government at the center, no, they have to remove Biren Singh. Now, that is, it is not it's not question of laying the blame on him.
Not at all.
It is just how
How?
a normal society functions. When the
Exactly.
person at the top, the decision maker, when under his thing,
Under his watch.
something happens, no, he has to take responsibility,
Exactly.
or somebody has to take responsibility.
Yeah.
See, during this ULB thing, 2017,
Yeah.
2 young Nagas were shot. No?
Here in
They
Dimapur.
also said somebody has to take responsibility. Either the commissioner of police has to think, or whichever officer coming down to the ranks, no, or Mr. Patton was also Home Minister at the time. Patton has to resign or he has to resign. Somebody has to take responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
But nobody took responsibility. So in this case also, somebody has to take responsibility. No?
Somebody has to.
And since this is, again, very different, when you have two entire communities take,
Exactly,
no? So it is a Chief Minister who has to take
absolutely.
responsibility. It is his responsibility.
Absolutely. We don't know what our Kuki brothers are thinking, and we don't know what our Mayday brothers are thinking in this issue. But the only thing that they should work to come together and work for is for peace.
Yes.
So peace should be earned. It does not come naturally.
Yes, yes.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So there has to be some formula to bring that peace into action. Other than that, I think people are hurt. Peace will not just come as it is.
No. Because as you said earlier, the wounds have been caused. And people will, until something concrete is done, visibly, not only done, but must be seen to be done. Okay, there's a difference, because you may do something, but it may not appear. So it must appear to be done, it must be done. So if Mr. Biren Singh steps down, that will show that there is a concrete concern for what has happened. Then after that, we can take, whatever steps need to be taken, can be taken, whether a separate administration or whatever.
Now the good thing is that the court even has rolled back their recommendation for the inclusion of Mayday as a tribe in the tribe list. Like it has been further like pushed aside for 1 year. I think that may never come back, or that may come back after 1 year. That may be revived. We don't know.
That depends on the state government.
That
The
depends
court
cannot do that anymore.
Supreme Court has clearly said that there have been earlier judgments. And just as a thing, not sidetrack, but the present Chief Justice of Supreme Court, Mr. Chandrachud,
Chandrachud.
I believe he has taken a lot of very positive steps.
I like that guy.
On many things.
I like that guy. So that's one good thing. And another thing, like we discussed, either Biren Singh steps down or some separate solution comes.
Unless, as you said earlier, prior to our talks, you were saying something about lines of the Bodo Territorial Council.
Oh, yeah.
So unless cookies are granted that, without Biren Singh stepping down, there's no hope.
Yeah. So our discussion is that peace should come back, normalcy should come back, but we are skeptical that peace will not just come back like that. There has to be some steps taken.
Nothing happens on its own. Everybody must fight for whatever they believe in. So if you believe in peace, you have to fight for peace.
Right.
And this issue here, it's not about ST status alone, but people are using this ST status for different issues. Like the drug trade also was brought up. See, majority of the drugs coming to Nagaland, not majority, 99% say, of the thing. It's from Manipur, and it's not the cookies alone. Maitis also, Nagas also involved. And it's a very cash-rich industry. So you can't just blame the thing. Cookies, for growing poppy. Maybe they want land so that they can also grow poppy.
It involves everyone, literally.
Everyone from everything.
So the Cookie MLA, he said that although it was the Cookies and Nagas who did who do the farming, it was the Maite kingpins in Imphal who took the trade and who became the middleman to sell this out. So everyone is literally involved. That's what
I don't know. But during the late 80s and early 90s, I'm a recovering addict. See, acetic acid. Okay. It seems it's very important for the production of heroin.
Achha.
So Marwari also, they were selling acetic acid.
So I believe this is a very fruitful and meaningful discussion, and it makes us think what steps should be taken, from both sides, even from the government, and how serious government should be in order to bring peace and normalcy, because that's what matters at the end of the day. And I want to reiterate that peace and normalcy would not just come like that. There is a requirement for some concrete steps to be taken, as a reward or as a condition put on some leaders or whatever. So peace would come that way. So I believe our Kuki brothers are also standing on that ground. And I think our government, Manipur state government, is also trying to understand and reason out like what to do best in order to bring that normalcy. Because situation will remain volatile for so long, okay? I'm afraid.
yes.
So that is what it is.
It will not just think die of its own.
Yeah.
So it must be addressed, something must be done.
Something must be done.
Because I believe it's the first time all the 10 Kuki MLAs have resigned.
I think it's the first time.
That shows the seriousness.
I'm not sure about resignation yet, but they have put up that memorandum with their signature appended.
Yeah. So, no.
Directly going
that
against
shows
their own
that,
party
it's
government.
never happened in India.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Never happened. Because here too, even if
Yeah.
people try to get you to step down, no, they hold on to the seat, no.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
this is the thing. So it shows the seriousness, no. So the center. See, now all it falls back on the center. Because it is their party. They have chosen Mr. Biren Singh to be the chief minister. So it is for them to take whatever they think best. For us, we are just giving our suggestions. We're just giving our opinions. No?
Yeah, it's just an opinion, nothing more than opinions. Because we need to have a dialogue, we need to have discussions like
and
this.
Then, last time you had the Cookie and the Maite thing on your show live.
Yes.
There also a lot of emotions were stirred up. No?
Yeah, true.
But both of us, we can say we're neutral. No? So
exactly.
it is for us to stand by whatever is
Absolutely.
right in the context of humanity, in the context of the modern world. No?
Absolutely. So thanks for joining in this discussion. And viewers, our audience should also comment their thought freely. And we would love to hear more from what you think. And let's just continue the discussion even after this. So thanks for this beautiful timing and beautiful discussion that we have had together. And I hope you would like him back again on this show for more hot topics in the days to come. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.